Don't look now, but your Kansas City Chiefs are getting reinforcements. What do they mean and who gets on the field? Coming up today with Matt Derrick from Chiefs Digest here on Locked On Chiefs.
From the land of the free and the home of the Chiefs, this is the Locked On Chiefs podcast.
Welcome in, everybody. Hope that you're having a good day. We are trying to do the same. We're brought to you today by FanDuel. You can get a big return right now by placing a $5 bet. That thing wins. You get $150 back in bonus bets right now. Just if you win a $5 bet at FanDuel.com, go check them out. Check out ChiefsDigest.com because that's where Matt's doing his work. You can find mine over at NFL33.com and RGRFootball.com, as well as Rogue APC. Don't forget that one because the draft cycle is coming. We're getting into that part of the season here. Looking forward to it. We're going to have you covered. Like, sub, hit the bell, do the things on all the podcast things, audio and video and otherwise. Make sure you're with us everywhere, including here and on our text line at 816-357-8781. A lot going on, Matt. It's been a hectic day. Later in the show, we're going to talk about this hectic holiday season that is just starting right now for these Chiefs, and this is only the first step this week. Then, before we get to it, we're going to check in what's going on with the Raiders and what kind of turmoil is going on there. It's a long list. We'll just say it that way, but we'll run it down for you. And we're going to start today by, some of us still have to work on a day like this, Matt. It's not a holiday yet. For the Chiefs to run out all these changes today just took me for surprise. Can you give us a rundown and what stood out to you the most of the, 17 roster moves they made today?
Yeah, it certainly felt like it, Ryan. And a couple of things just completely out of the blue. Peyton Hendershot had what Chiefs described as calf spasms on Sunday during the game, went back in. Apparently ended up being more than that because he goes on IR today. It's going to keep him out for at least 4 weeks and beyond. We'll see what goes beyond that. But right now, Chiefs down to just 2 tight ends on the active roster. That position has just continued to be decimated. The other big surprise yesterday in a personal workout, Spencer Schrader hurt his hamstring. So he's going to be out this week. Chiefs have signed Matt Wright, who was with this team in 2022 when Butker had the high ankle sprain, filled in, had a 59-yard field goal for a franchise record that then Butker took back 6 days later. But he's been a 86% field goal kicker in the NFL. That's kind of almost the 33rd kicker in the NFL here for a while. He's been with 6 different teams and has been doing a pretty good job. He was just with the 49ers. So coming over to Kansas City to be their 3rd kicker this year. And then, another handful of moves. The Chiefs finally confirmed, even though it was officially yesterday with DJ Humhries getting signed as the offensive tackle coming in. Chiefs did waive Cameron Thomas, the defensive end that they acquired from Arizona. I know you're that's not that's I was going to say I know you're shook up on that one, Ryan, because that was one of your guys. Yeah. They brought back Baylor Kopp, who's going to be on the practice squad. He was on the injured list of the practice squad, so he's just been reactivated. And the Chiefs terminated a couple of practice squad contracts, notably, Lucas Niang, who's been with this team. This is his 4th season in Kansas City. And then also Truman Jones, defensive end, that's been on the practice squad now for a couple of seasons. So a lot of turnover, and the end result of it is that there are 2 spots left on the active roster for Isaiah Pacheco and Charles Omenihu. So some of this work done today, Ryan, was certainly just dealing with the injuries to Schrader and to Hendershot. But also it was to clear the roster spots for bringing back Isaiah Pacheco and Charles Omenihu.
And those we should probably expect. I expect Pacheco for this ballgame, maybe Omenihu another week. Do you think that's crazy? Is this too soon for Pacheco?
I don't think it's too soon for either one. But you're right. I mean, if one's more likely than the other, Pacheco would be the one. I think there's a possibility that they both go ahead and get added to the 53 this week. Could be that one of them will be inactive, but wouldn't be surprised. But I mean, it seems like all signs are for Pacheco that this was the week that he was most likely to return. Like I said, we'll see what happens, but their deadline for both of them is next week. So it's either now or next week that they both come back.
Okay, well, let's hope that they do. Pour one out for Cam Thomas. Don't know what went wrong there. I'd love to see him get back on the practice squad because I do still strongly believe there is potential in the right system. Maybe it just wasn't this system. That's fine. The kicker situation is very interesting. You said a personal workout, so not a game-related incident on Schrader. So you get to Wright. You'll see what happens the week after that. This could be a revolving door for a bit, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's hard to tell, whether or not the injury to Schrader is a long-term injury. But, remember, Harrison Butker was only expected to be out maybe 4 weeks. So, he could be back as soon as after the Chargers game. This would be game number 3 for Butker being out. And he has been around the locker room, and it looks like he's been moving pretty well. So, we'll see just exactly what his status is. But, he was expected just to be the 4-week stint. The fact that the Chiefs aren't making a move with Schrader, obviously means that Schrader could be back. Wright's only on the practice squad, so it gives them some flexibility there. Mm-hmm. They could obviously just use practice squad elevations on Matt Wright for the next couple of games, and they're covered there. And if they want to keep Schrader around for, insurance, they certainly, they carried Matt Wright and Harrison Butker in 2022 for a period of time when Butker was injured. So, and remember, Matt Wright's also coming off an injury as well. He got banged up in San Francisco when he was filling in for Jake Moody. He tried to make a tackle and hurt his shoulder and his back. So
2 for 1.
And honestly, had he not done that and was not with the 49ers anymore and wasn't on their IR, Chiefs might have brought him in. He would have been their first choice, replacing Butker, but he was still on the 49ers IR list when the Chiefs signed Schrader. So Schrader was their second choice after Wright. Now the Chiefs get their first choice. We'll see what happens. But with all 3 of these guys, the kickers that the Chiefs have, all dealing with injuries. Matt Wright's the healthiest, so he's the one that's going to kick on Friday.
It's saying something. I will say this. I'm happy for Baylor Cup. Another one of my guys that I do think has a lot of potential. So if I lose Cam, I get Cup. I'm okay with that. But also claimed today was Greg Dulcich, who I thought was going to be a great fit had he made it to Kansas City. Giants picked him up off of waivers from the Broncos. So that was a possibility that I had been hoping for. But alas, no joy today. Where is their joy? Well, going through a lot in Kansas City. They're going through a heck of a lot in Vegas as well. There is turmoil to go over. Don't know about joy, but we're going to break it down coming up next. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in award winnings. Prize Picks has daily fantasy sports and makes it accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 100 times your money. Run your game all season long at Prize Picks. They make it simple, and they even invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out, even if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money, even if one of your picks doesn't hit. So sign up today, and you can get $50 instantly when you play a $5 lineup. You don't even have to win to receive that $50 bonus. It's guaranteed. Download the Gametime app and use our code LOCKEDONNFL, and you're going to get $50 instantly after you play a $5 lineup. Super simple. Download that app, use our code LOCKEDONNFL, and get that 50 bonus for playing a $5 lineup. Super easy over at Prize Picks. You want to celebrate with and stay connected to people who are far away? Missing someone this holiday season makes you want to send them something and try to have the festivities from afar. Well, we have the answer for you. You've got the perfect gift in Skylight. Skylight Frame is the touch screen digital photo frame for the whole family. They're all going to love it. You can upload thousands of photos from your phone and watch them appear in seconds or an email. Super simple. All you got to do is act on this limited time offer right now for our listeners and get $20 off of your purchase of a Skylight frame when you go to skylightframe.com/NFL. That's SKYLIGHTFRAME.com/NFL. And you can get $20 off of it at your purchase at skylightframe.com/NFL. Well, some days are better than others. Most days are great here. They're all great at ChiefsDigest.com. Go check out Matt's work there and check him out on Chiefs Digest here on the YouTube platform. RGR football, we're going to tell you the truth, and some days are not my best days. So if you want to see some grief, you can go there as well. Grief might be something we get when we talk about the Las Vegas Raiders. People People called me crazy. We did the whole network breakdown preseason. I picked the Raiders to finish last, not only AFC West, but in the AFC. And I'm not too far off yet, Matt. I don't know if anything that they've done recently is going to turn it around, but it's an interesting thing. Kudos to Gardner Minshew. Been playing, been working his butt off. Comes up with a significant injury, especially for a quarterback, anything that's collarbone, clavicle related, you got to be a little bit nervous about it. So now they get a guy who's been out since week 7 in Aiden O'Connell. They plucked him right back into practice and started giving him snaps of the ones because they're scared to play Desmond Ridder. And that's just the quarterback position. Is there anything that the Chiefs have to pay specific attention to with all this drama going on in Vegas?
I mean, just make sure, I guess, Brock Bowers doesn't go off for 250 yards. I mean, I don't know. The Raiders are a bad team. I mean, and obviously injuries have not helped them. I mean, but I think that by and large, everybody in Las Vegas has waved the white flag. I mean, I'd almost be surprised if the Raiders win another game. I mean, they did, put up a little bit of fight with the Broncos on Sunday before Denver kind of put them away pretty easily at the end. But no, I mean, this team's a mess. I mean, the quarterback injuries have already obviously piled up. They've had to go back and forth there. And and injuries weren't even the only part of it. I mean, part of it's just been bad play. O'Connell didn't really just claim the job outright. I mean, he was already at risk of losing the job to Gardner Minshew because of his play. Gardner did a yeoman's work, but now they're down to the possibility of just one injury away from Desmond Ridder having to be in there, who's been there for about 2 seconds. I mean, it's a mess, and defensively they're not much better either. I mean, they've got one player on both sides of the football. They got Brock Bowers, they got Max Crosby. Not a whole lot else.
And that's where it comes back to me. And that's with all this stuff going on, they can't seem to get out of their own way. And as much as you Raiders fans like to hear them talk a good game, and that's part of the Raider ethos, whatever you want to call it. I can't even remember the right term for that. It's bitten them over and over and over from the head coach on down, right? The one guy that makes me nervous about is if he's backed into a corner, Max Crosby's still a guy that can do some damage. And going up against either a tackle that's young and has struggled this season, particularly last week at times, or a guy who just walked onto the practice field for the first time today, I don't know that that's a recipe for success for me. So how much are you concerned about the turmoil and what it's led to attitude-wise for one, Max Crosby, and how do you think it is best to address that threat with the tackle position?
Yeah, I mean, you hear conflicting things out of Vegas, so you really don't know how some of the veterans and guys like Crosby are really handling things. I mean, there's a sense that, hey, maybe Crosby's just tired of all the nonsense. He wants to win, and, he's tired of losing. I don't blame him. But this has been a game that obviously has always been a lot of Max Crosby. He and Mahomes have a certain bit of rivalry, and there's some trash talking that loves to go on both sides there. So I could certainly see where this could be one of those games where Max Crosby decides just to put on the cape. And it's like, okay, guys, we're gonna go after him in this one. And and Antonio Pierce, if he can rally the troops for one game, this would be the game to do it for. This is, forget the last one. I mean, this is the last stand for this Raiders team. If they win this one, I mean, they could at least say this season had some level of success because they beat the world champs at their place again. I just don't think that the Chiefs are going to let last year's Christmas Day debacle repeat itself, and especially after the way they felt last week against Carolina. But specifically the tackle situation, I mean, Ryan, you'll be able to knock me over with a feather if DJ Humhries is active on Friday. I mean, after 2 non-contact practices that the Chiefs will have this week, that's no position to put a new guy that comes in. And I've been told that it's probably going to be at least a couple of weeks of just letting him get back into football shape. Remember, he hasn't played since January. So there's a difference between, as I was reminded by my sources in the organization, there's a difference between being in shape and football shape. So they want DJ Humhries to get into that. And 2, even though, I think a lot of Chiefs fans are seeing this as, okay, DJ Humhries is here to step in as the starting left tackle as soon as possible. That's not how the Chiefs are viewing it. The Chiefs are really viewing Humhries as just tackle insurance, period. Because if you think about the big picture, the Chiefs can't afford to lose Jawan Taylor or Wanya Morris right now. if they had to play with either Kingsley Suamadi or Ethan Driscoll at either one of the tackle situations, if either one of those guys got injured, you're talking about not having a lot of confidence in the player who's coming in. So Humphries gives them a third tackle that gives them some support. The Chiefs' attitude is that if Wanye can hold the job, he'll hold it. I mean, if he continues to improve, obviously there's concern with Wanye with the bone bruise and the knee. That's another big reason why they wanted to bring somebody in, because they are worried that knee could flare up again at any time, and could knock Wanye out. So now they have insurance, but if Wanye struggles, DJ Humphries is there. But I think you might be surprised that if Wanye plays well in the next couple of weeks, he might continue to hold that position longer than you think, and that DJ Humphries might be there as just a pure swing tackle backup in case of an injury, and obviously insurance towards Wanye struggling. But Chiefs are going to let Wanye hold that job if he can earn it.
Sounds like that could be the best case scenario. That's what we're trying to look for in a week with a lot of turmoil, and things are about to get really, really hectic. So having that fallback position, I think, is going to be very important. How do these holidays look like they're stacking up as we get into the silly season? That's coming up next. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Because right now, new customers, you can bet just $5 and you get $150 back in bonus bets if you win right now. FanDuel Sportsbook, the app, gives you everything that you need to get bets in place for the NFL all in one place. So when you got a hunch in the middle of the game, you want to check out the latest stats, you live by that play-by-play, you can do that and much more on the same page right where you place your bets. Visit FanDuel.com today and join. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's at FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 and official sportsbook partner of the NFL. I got to tell you, Matt, I don't like Black Friday games. It just doesn't sound fun to me. I'm not going to go outside because I refuse to be in public on that day. But, I got other things to do. This is going to be a little bit strange. And I think it sets up the whole end of this season to be strange, certainly very hectic. How does a team right now that has been struggling to play up to their potential, struggling to stay ahead of the best shot of every team that they've been getting, and coming off a game that, quite frankly, they nearly folded for, how do they get this start and go plan through the next month of games? What's critical to them right now?
Yeah, getting as much rest as possible is frankly just the most important thing. Like I mentioned earlier, the Chiefs are only having 2 practices this week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Both of them, no pads, no helmets, basically, 10-10-10 run-throughs. I think it was a little bit of a longer practice on Tuesday than maybe normal. Friday will probably be about, or Thursday, Wednesday. Can't even keep the days track because Wednesday is a Friday, Ryan. I mean, nobody can figure anything out this week. So probably about 75 minutes on Wednesday. So, yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of this is about giving these guys as much rest as possible this week and not wearing them out, focusing just on the game plan itself. Getting things down, doing your run-throughs, not worrying about taking any hits, adding any turmoil to the roster any more than they have to. But you know what? That's for both teams. I'm sure the Raiders are doing the exact same thing. So I don't think either side's going to have a real advantage there. And as much as I think everybody hates playing on a Friday, the fact that you then have a couple of extra days the following week before you get a Sunday night game against the Chargers, that's actually a benefit. I mean, certainly that's going to be an advantage. And, we know late in the season, rest advantages could be a big factor. So that, I think, is one thing that the Chiefs are looking forward to. But I'll tell you, I mean, going through the locker room today and talking to guys, I was actually surprised how many of them were like, asking about the Friday game. And they were like, this is nothing. But those three games in 10 days at the end of December, that's what they're looking at and not being real excited about right now. So that's more on their mind, than the short wet rest this week. But the fact that they've got that sequence of Sunday, Saturday, Wednesday, Christmas Day coming up. That's what they're not looking forward to at all.
Yeah, I can't blame them. Hectic is not even the right word for it. It's going to get absolutely frenetic. How does Thanksgiving look in your household, and how frenetic does it get for you?
Not going to be too frenetic this year. So I just going over to the in-laws. I'm responsible for sweet potatoes, which I've purchased and all ready to go there. I may have to make a dessert, but if I make one, it's for me. So it'll be chocolate and peanut butter. So that's don't have to worry about anything else. So this is kind of, I'm not going to lie, it's going to be kind of hands off and not a huge work day, since really probably about the only work we'll have popping up will be the Chiefs will be have to make their practice squad elevations by 3:00 Thursday. So we'll have to do a little work there. But other than that, should be a relatively quiet day.
Good. I hope that you have a great one. I'm looking forward to it as well. And this way we can get it out of the way now so you don't have to deal with it on that day. What do you see happening in this ballgame?
Yeah, I really feel like it's going to go one of two ways. And we've talked about it before, recently, that I just don't have a lot of confidence in taking the Chiefs winning in a blowout. So, my real prediction is that the Chiefs kind of do what they've been doing the last few games, which is I think the offense will get it done, but the defense might let the Raiders sneak in. So officially, I'm going 31-24. But my backdoor prediction that if things go really well and the Chiefs defense shows up to play, this could be the blowout. This could be like 31-10, because these two teams are going in different directions. And that's one thing that the Chiefs haven't had in a while, is a game against a team that's truly going in the wrong direction. Carolina, remember, had been playing really good football the last couple of games, and they were coming off a bye week. It's not the case with the Raiders. Raiders are terrible. They don't have a rest advantage or anything. So, and once again, I don't think this is a holiday sneak up, because Chiefs and the Raiders, they know how it went last Christmas, and they do not want to have an unhappy Thanksgiving.
Well, let's hope that they're listening to you, because I happen to agree, folks. You're going to get my prediction along with Chris's before kickoff. We will release a couple of special shows on a tighter timeline, so keep your ears peeled and your eyes open, whether it's on YouTube or the audio podcast sites, wherever you get your information. You will find a couple from us. Matt, thank you for your time running it down and getting ready for a holiday week. I hope you and yours have a great one, and that goes for everyone else as well.
Same to you, Ryan. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Enjoy your birds. In my case, I got a turkey. I got a duck. They are separate. It's not getting stuffed. And a ham coming, because everybody and their grandmother decided to show up at my house. So you guys have a great holiday. We do have more content for you. We're going to pre-record it, and you'll have it in your feed whenever you get a chance to step away from the fan and you just want to settle out and talk ball. Make sure you get with us. Have a great one. Thanks for